Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.
Next on HIKI No, stories from across the island chain.
From Maui, students from Lokelani Intermediate tell the story of a man who is making a splash in Maui County. Maui Waena Intermediate shows how a modest ukulele store in Wailuku puts a smile on people's faces, while Hana K-12 school shows us why their football team is historic in more ways than one.
On Hawaii Island, students from Kamehameha Schools, Hawaii give us an inside view of their 2012 Makahiki.
From Kauai, students from Kula Niihau O Kekaha show us how they are building remotely operated underwater vehicles.
Oahu. James Campbell High School explores the reasons behind recent teacher demonstrations across the state, and Farrington High School shines a spotlight on T-Shirt Theater, a spirited drama group that transforms lives.
Also on Oahu, this episode of HIKI No comes to you from the campus of Maryknoll School, home of the Spartans. That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI No. Can do!
I'm Christiane Michael.
I'm Emerald Leon.
I'm Kelsey Lewis.
And I'm Nicole Choi.
And we're your hosts for this week's episode of
HIKI No.
Maryknoll School is the first and largest K-12 co-educational Catholic school in Hawaii.
It was founded in 1927 by the Maryknoll sisters, who at that time had already established several outposts in places such as China and the Philippines.
They hope to bring a quality Catholic education to what was then another remote area of the globe.
In 2012, the sisters celebrated their 100th anniversary as a religious order, and Maryknoll School celebrated 85 years of providing an outstanding Catholic education to young men and women in Hawaii. We take you now to the Ewa district of Oahu for a story from James Campbell High School about demonstrations being held by Hawaii public school teachers across the state.
They've been in the news, on the streets, and rallying at the Capitol. For the past 3 months, every Thursday, teachers on Oahu have been out waving signs in neighborhoods around the island. But why? What is their point? Well, as it turns out,
teachers in Hawaii actually, if you look at both cost of living and comfort level, are the worst paid in the nation.
that's according to the National Education Association, and it's creating a situation that teachers like Corey Rosenlee at James Campbell High School in Ewa Beach say is unacceptable. The beginning teacher in Hawaii can make as little as $33,000 a year, according to the DOE, enough to qualify them for food stamps if they are married with a dependent. The median salary was around $48,000 in 2010, before the increase in healthcare costs. And when adjusted for cost of living, that was only the equivalent of about $30,000, according to Honolulu Civil Beat. And with the added costs of student loans, teachers are finding themselves having to leave teaching just to pay the costs of their teaching programs.
Now that I'm out of grad school, my student loans are due, I literally can't afford to pay them. So I'm already looking at other opportunities that will compensate me for the degree that I have and the money I put in to receive that education.
I'm going to have to leave teaching because I simply can't afford to stay in teaching. I can't afford to pay my student loans with the level of education that I have.
In fact, every 5 years, 56% of teachers in Hawaii either leave the state or the profession. And the students in Hawaii have to make do with the constant rotation of less experienced teachers. Areas with comparable costs of living like New York City and Chicago pay teachers 1.5 to nearly twice as much as what Hawaii's teachers make. We contacted representatives from Governor Abercrombie's administration, along with other state representatives, to get their side of the story on this issue, none of whom agreed to be interviewed. Just recently, the Hawaii Teachers Work to the Rule Association, headed by Corey Rosenlee, held a rally at the state capitol to try and gain support for a new idea.
What we're asking for is something called the Penny for Education Act. And this would raise the general excise tax by 1 penny per dollar. And this would bring in $500 million. So basically, you could start to fix some of the problems that are really facing education in Hawaii.
Whether a tax increase is politically feasible in Hawaii is still very much in question. But that's a fight these teachers are willing to have for their own survival and for what they see as the sake of their students. For HIKI No, I'm Cameron Tyndall.
We are here at Maryknoll School on Oahu in Maryknoll's state-of-the-art gymnasium and community center, which, in addition to providing a home court for our student athletes, also serves as the location of Maryknoll's all-school masses. 2 years ago, Maryknoll completed construction on this brand new gymnasium to host our current and future champions. Maryknoll is active in many Pac-5, ILH, and CSL sports, holding state championships in sports such as basketball, volleyball, and baseball.
We travel now to the Valley Isle, where students from Lokelani Intermediate School tell us about Maui's very own aquatic biologist.
Skippy Howe invited Lokelani students to see turtle excavation on McKenna Beach.
My name is Skippy Howe. I'm an aquatic biologist and I work for the state of Hawaii.
I used to do almost everything. I used to do turtle strandings, and then sometimes when we used to have shark attacks, we'd help post signs and watch the shoreline.
Actually, when I was in school, I had a great biology teacher. It was a Mr. Walter Hiroishi in the 9th grade, but he got us interested in biology. And so it kept us really interested. He talked about fishing, talked about diving, and that's kind of the things that I get to do now as an aquatic biologist.
Most of my job, what we do is we monitor the resources. I get to go scuba diving. I've been working with turtles. Nice to see that turtle nests have increased. If we had not excavated, they probably would have died. Basically, they'll still have to survive nature. So by excavating the nest, we also get to assess how good the nest is. If there are any live hatchlings, the live hatchlings are released on the beach so that they can go into the water. It takes about 4 years between nesting. So I get to do different things, so it keeps my job exciting. Yeah. I think you always respect nature. We should be taking care of nature. I get to work with a lot of animals. I'm very fortunate, very lucky job that I have as an aquatic biologist.
Skippy Howe helps Maui aquatic wildlife not only to survive, but to thrive. I'm Asaki Fakaba from Lokelani Intermediate School for HIKI No.
If you'd like to comment on these stories or anything else you see on HIKI No, please join the discussion at facebook.com/HikiNoCanDo or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HikiNoCanDo.
Welcome back to Maryknoll School on Oahu. We're here at the grade school, Maryknoll's campus for students K through 8, while the high school is located down the street. It is here where the first Maryknoll students were taught back in 1927. The grade school is home to the new gymnasium, as well as several paintings by artist Jean Charlot, which I'm standing in front of. This is another work by artist Jean Charlot. Here at the grade school, Maryknoll educators and students emphasize the 4 agreements: mutual respect, attentive listening, appreciation, and the right to pass and participate. The grade school offers an excellent foundation for Maryknoll elementary and middle school students.
Our next story takes us to the Kalihi district of Oahu, where students from Farrington High School raise the current on a theater group that changes lives.
At Farrington High School in Kalihi, a group of 30 energetic actors and actresses in grades 8 through 12 performs in colorful t-shirts. The company calls themselves T-Shirt Theater. T-Shirt Theater is a project for the Alliance for Drama Education.
We started here in 1980 at Farrington High School. The students were so rowdy that we couldn't have performances in the auditorium. So English Department Chairman Sherilyn Tom asked us to come in and work with every incoming student to learn audience manners. After 4 years, the audience was wonderful. We were open the auditorium. But then she said, why don't you work with the most gifted students over the summertime? Call it Explorations in Drama. We did that. The kids were so terrific, we didn't want to let them go. And so We always come to work in t-shirts, so we call it T-shirt Theater, and we got State Foundation on Culture and the Arts to fund us.
T-shirt theater is a very valuable program that teaches very positive morals by means of humor and comedy. It's a way for people of all ages to learn messages that help them in life about social issues. We use humor to punch that message in.
I have to use the restroom.
Okay, Grandpa, go. We'll wait for you in the car.
I'm done.
Rehearse for life means to practice for the future so that when you enter the real world, you know, you're ready and you're prepared. Like when you go on stage, you're ready to hit all your cues and you're professional.
T-shirt theater reaches out to younger kids by way of envoys, which is when we go to elementary schools in Kalihi and we do little performances for the elementary school students.
Out of all our audiences, the Farrington High School crowd is the most toughest crowd, and it's really nerve-wracking. You know, will they like me? Will they hate me? But there's just so much adrenaline that you just give all you got, and the adrenaline is just a good feeling, being out there for the first time.
Walt Delaney, my partner for over 48 years, our relationship in terms of a creative collaboration was like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. One guy planned it, that was Walt, and one guy executed, that was me.
A recent roof collapse forced the closing of Farrington Auditorium, which was T-shirt theater's beloved home base for practice and performance. However, the spirit of low-tech, high zest has not decreased. The students are excited about taking their upcoming self-written spring show to other theaters on Oahu. From Farrington High School, this is Antoine Vong for HIKI No.
Welcome back to Maryknoll School on Oahu. We're here in one of Maryknoll's recently renovated 21st century classrooms. Innovative learning environments like this one help to prepare Maryknoll's approximately 1,400 students for a rapidly developing world. In addition to Maryknoll's laptop education program, students can enjoy classes in which technological tools such as smartboards or the organizational website Moodle are incorporated into the curriculum. Maryknoll educators strive to equip students with the tools and skills needed for real-world applications. We travel now to the Orchid Isle, where students from Kamehameha Schools, Hawaii give us a look at a 21st century version of an ancient Hawaiian activity.
Every year, the students at Kamehameha Schools, Hawaii participate in the Makahiki Festival. This year, they decided to take it to a new level by making it an all-school event. Makahiki has always been a part of the Hawaiian culture. In ancient times, it was a period in which war and work ceased, and feasting and games were played to honor the god Lono.
Today we'll talk about
Like the ancient Hawaiians, the students at Kamehameha Schools took time off of their daily schedules to spend a day to celebrate.
We're doing tattoos, and so how we start off is I sort of give like a short little speech about what tattoos are, what they meant back in old Hawaiian society, a quick laydown, and then I just let the students just get into it. What we sort of wanted to do is this is arts and communication, so we want them to be creative. We want them to express themselves.
You need the leaves. Just pick off a leaf. I'm so native, I feel connected to the culture.
Along with our students, our headmaster, high school principal, and teachers celebrated the day's activities. During the course of the day, they participated in hula dancing, poke making, and ancient games like uma.
Two right hands, and they have to hold their left foot with their left hand. And the object is to get the other person to fall down, touch the ground, and get out of the circle. It's sick, actually. Actually, it's pretty sick.
These activities were prepared by the senior class to present to the underclassmen. In the activities, they are taught the cultural importance and the role it played during the time of Makahiki. Due to this year's success, Kamehameha Schools Hawaii plans to keep it as an all-school event for years to come. This has been Sienna Whithans from Kamehameha Schools Hawaii reporting for HIKI Now.
We're here at Maryknoll School on Oahu in one of the 21st century classrooms that serves our creative endeavors. This is the practice space for band, music, and drama club, which are a few of the student organizations we have on campus. Other extracurricular activities include speech team, math team, robotics, National Honor Society, and the literary magazine. This space is also a performance space for the musical guests that come to campus.
Our next story takes us to Maui, where Maui Waena Intermediate spotlights a Wailuku business that started as a 6-month project and has blossomed into a 16-year phenomenon.
Looking for happiness, not an ukulele, but this is where she'll find it. Say hi.
In Hawaiian, mele means both merry and song. The beautiful harmony when those two collide plays perfectly to what Mele Ukulele, a locally owned shop in Old Wailuku Town, is all about.
We opened up our shop in 1997. Very quickly, word got out and people showed up and wanted more ukuleles. I only signed to a 6-month contract. I was so worried about the rent and the time commitment to be here.
Despite her fretting, Cheryl found her inspiration in the people who shared her passion for the ukulele, and before she knew it,
6 months became 16 years today. So we're very fortunate that we've been able to make a livelihood out of something that is so much fun to do. You know, if you love what you do for work, you really don't work at all. The only string instrument that almost instantly brings a smile to your face when you strum it. Just do that. And do that. And she said, you know, it is such a stress reliever. That's all I need.
And she is not the only one. Ukuleles are filling the world with her beautiful melodies.
All over Europe, Asia, all over, of course, the mainland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. I tell you, everybody's playing ukulele.
The sweet sound of aloha is spreading across the world.
We're here at Maryknoll School on Oahu. These are the college guidance offices, home to the program that helps prepare our juniors and seniors for their next step in education. Our 2 friendly and knowledgeable college guidance counselors are readily available to answer any questions that students or parents may have. Much emphasis is given on Naviance, an online tool which helps organize students' applications, scholarships, and much more. College prep is done during advisory every day, where students may fill out their resumes, work on their PSAT, or speak to their advisors, who they remain with for the majority of their high school experience. We take you now to the island of Kauai, where students from Kula Niihau O Kekaha tell us a story with an underwater twist.
On Kauai, there are tests being conducted on underwater robotics. Are these tests top secrets? Jim Lucas from Kula Niihau O Kekaha explained the purpose of the testing.
The HIKI project, sponsored by the Pacific American Foundation and NOAA, is an underwater robotics class designed to engage students in science and engineering by building underwater remotely operated vehicles, ROVs. From learning how to strip and solder wires to the actual building of the underwater ROV, to collection and testing of water samples, the students are truly learning by doing.
I think the most difficult thing about building the ROV were the cables, because there were a lot of soldering.
The HIKI project could open other doors for the students.
I think so. That's right there, that's mechanical engineering. And they're doing it before they even get into high school. Maybe there should be a project in the high school that can advance them a little bit more. I know that Doug Knight was telling us that there's a big demand for it right now.
Biggest surprise is how our team got along.
And we're working today with the students from Kula Niihau O Kekaha, who are working on a technology project in our pool to test the remotely operated vehicles. These students are working in an area which is could develop into a career in terms of technology as well as in marine biology and other applications. And it's the benefit of us as well as to the benefit of the students. It's a really wonderful experience for all of us.
The biggest surprise was it didn't fail on us and it floated all the way to the sea.
Olo e ho'ite mai e pili ana I ta omole nisken.
Rea ta omole nisken. Na to an pono e huti che me iwa. Tomi logo nei. Tomi a depi. Vai holo irok ke mu puta nei. Ta tomi depi he mota kin mu. Pa to vai irok.
Like I did some corrections too, so it's okay now. It's perfect.
The Hi'i Manu project reflects an old Hawaiian proverb that says, by doing, one learns makahana ka'ike. From Kula Niihau O Kekaha, this is Waena Kanahele for HIKI no on PBS Hawaii.
We're back at Maryknoll School on Oahu. Maryknoll's motto, Noblesse Oblige, is an essential part of our culture here. It means, to whom much is given, much is expected. Maryknoll's ongoing commitment to service reflects our Catholic values as well as our dedication to giving back. In fact, all of Maryknoll's high school students will perform at least 100 hours of community service over the course of their time here. In senior year, Maryknoll students undertake a major individual project where they conduct extensive research on a topic of their choice and then go out into the community to use that knowledge to help others. As Maryknoll alumni, Maryknoll students use Noblesse Oblige in their daily lives. If you'd like to comment on these stories or anything else you see on HIKI-No, please join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI-No-CAN-DO or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI-No-CAN-DO.
We're back here at Maryknoll on Oahu. Here at Maryknoll, we embody the saying, small school, big heart. Students and faculty have an easy and unique rapport, both inside and outside of the classroom.
If a student needs help, they can always seek a teacher for personal guidance. Because of the small size, the hallways are often filled with familiar faces. Even between grade levels, students know each other by name. It's this close-knit family feel that connects students to Maryknoll, even after graduation.
Our final story takes us to the island of Maui, where students from Hana K-12 school tell us about a sports first for the community.
Hana is located in a geographically isolated area on Maui. The high school has approximately 70 students and 80% of them are of Hawaiian descent. Hana School made history when its first 8-man football team came to life.
Okay, we're going to introduce our home team, Hana Dragons, for the first game in Hana.
I decided to add 8-man football last year when it became an official sport for the MIL. It was a large undertaking as it took 3 years of planning and 3 years of saving funds to start up the program. It was a very expensive proposition to do for such a small school, and it required a lot of fundraising efforts. It cost approximately $30,000 to start the program.
It's their first year, and I think it was pretty good. It's a young team. Having a football team is something that you think that you would have in every school. Everybody comes out to watch. It's because we finally got a football team. We had a lot of boys that never did play football and girls. One girl in particular.
Being on a football team, I've learned how to manage my time. Football is exhausting, I'd have to say that. The position I played was linebacker. I had a lot of support throughout this football season from my family, my friends, my teachers, and the community. So because I'm a senior this year, this will be my first and last year playing football. My advice to you guys coming up for football, always try, never give up. Stick through football no matter how hard it is, and in the long run, it's going to feel awesome.
Well, in practice, Christine, she's always in tackling drills. We have a hard time getting her out of the drills. She wants to just hit everybody. Boys, they feel kind of intimidated because girls today actually, they can play just as well as boys. They are good. And I just hope a lot of girls would come out and show up and play the sport.
Christine did awesome at football. She was the only girl in our team, the only girl in the league, but she was one of the hardest hitters. When my family found out that Christine was going to play football, they supported her 100%. They wanted her to go out, and because she was one of the only girls who actually tried out, she stood for her word. She said she was going to play football, and she did it.
Although Hana School did not win all its games, they felt victorious because they played as a team regardless of their gender, got back up every time they fell, and there was great support from the community. This is Diana Naihe from Hana K-12 School for HIKI No.
Well, that's it for this week's show.
We hope you've enjoyed these stories from across the Hawaiian Islands.
Don't forget to tune in next week to see what the students of Hawaii can do.
Only on HIKI No and only on PBS Hawaii. Thank you for watching HIKI No.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No Founding Underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.